Why was Yosef HaTzadik so mean to his brothers? Because he remembered the Chaloimus, and that's why he had to do that? Is that the right thing to do? Let's learn the Parsha. Parshas Mikeitz, up to Shlishi. The Pusik says that Yosef HaTzadik had two sons in Mitzrayim before the days of the Ruav. The Gemara learns out from that in Tanas Tafid Aleph that you're not allowed to have children b'mishamish b'shnas re'avoin because it's the whole world is betzar. You shouldn't be b'simcha. Chazal tell us, the Brayse tells us right afterwards that if it's chasi chabunim, if you don't have any children, then you are allowed to. So fragen alle mefarshim the kasha that Yosef HaTzadik was chasi chabunim, so he should have been allowed to be mishamish. What's the raya from Yosef HaTzadik? He's not mishamish. Tosis also asks the kasha over there that Yecheved was born b'shnai re'uva, and she was born by Nachoimos. So you see that if Yecheved was born, obviously she was the daughter of Levi. Obviously Levi was mishamish b'shnai re'uva. So the answer is because the din of shnai re'uva is a din in gulas. And be'etzim, the Yidden in Eretz Canaan, even though there was already a ruav, but by them there was no ruav. It was only, like Yaakov said, lomatis rui. Why should you look like you're not looking for food? You should be looking for food. There's a hunger in the rest of the world, even though they had enough food. Mamayla, by them there was no shnai re'uva. Yosef, on the other hand, he was the man of the gulas. So even though he had plenty of food, but because Yosef symbolized gulas, even though he was chasi chabunim, by him it would have been a problem to be mishamish b'shnai re'uva in times of hunger. This is the shtickle hakdumah to understand really the whole parsha over here. What did Yosef name his two sons? The first son he named Menashe. Ki nashani elihim es kol amuli v'es kol bais uvi. Hashem made me forget my whole father's house. Really? Forget his father's house? And that's a good thing? To forget Yankov Avini? And then the second one he called him Ephraim, Ki Efrani Elihim Be'eretz Ani. But there's such an important thing to forget your father's house. Yes, because Yosef symbolized gulas. Yaakov, Avram Yitzchak and Yaakov symbolized Ge'ila, symbolized the presence of the Shechina in its best way in Eretz Yisrael in life, and Ge'ila and greatness and Aliyah. And Yosef was Yerida l'Mitzrayim, Indian of Gulas. And what were the Chaloimus? The Chaloimus were that Hashemesh, Vayirayach, V'achadus HaKechovim, all of these celestial beings, Mishtachavim Li, they are bowing to me. To me? They're bowing to me, yeah, they're bowing down. They're going down. They're going into Gulas, to me, to Yosef. Yosef, he hashalet al uretz. He hamashbel chol am uretz. Yosef is the one on the uretz. He's not in the shamayim. He's not the celestial being. He's in the uretz. He's in charge of the gulas. And by him being in charge of the gulas, because Yosef is a tzaddik in the gulas, that's what gives everybody a kiyum in gulas. And that was the point of the whole chaloimus, is that everybody should come down to Mitzrayim, to the gulas, be in gulas, be under Yosef HaTzadik, and be successful. And that's why it says, Vayake Yosef es eicha v'haim lo yikri. Yosef recognized his brothers and they didn't recognize him. So why didn't they recognize him? The Gemara in Mitzvah Daf Mem says that they didn't recognize him because he originally hadn't had a beard and now he had a beard. You could usually recognize a person from before a beard and after a beard. Some say they didn't recognize him because they didn't assume that he would be the viceroy, so they didn't think it was him. But it's not Gishmak Pshat. The Gishmak Pshat is they didn't recognize him because Yosef was always a idler, a zisa, a faina, a gete. He was always a very good person. And over here, he was nasty to them. Ooh, that they didn't recognize. Why is he being nasty? Because he's stelling avek gulas. He's putting gulas into place. This is the new system. This new system has to last for 210 years. He didn't have to be in gulas, and they have to be successful in gulas. And that's Yosef HaTzadik's avoida. So he took them, he put them all in jail. Why have to put them all in jail? Yeah? Okay, fine. Send them back. and say, I don't trust you. Go back home. You want to take away one of them, whatever. Let me bring me your brother. No, first he puts them in jail, and then he's going to send them. He's putting them first all into jail because he's telling them, this is gulas. You guys are not in a good state. You're all in jail. Okay, fine. I'll let you out of jail to get your brother. And the gulas is a system. It's a process. It doesn't happen in one day. First, Yosef HaTzadik went down. Then some of the brothers went down without Binyamin. Then the brothers went down with Binyamin. Then Yaakov went down with all the Shvutim, with all the Eineklich, with everybody. So Gulas is a process that happens over time. So too, Ge'ila also happens over time, and it's a process. First, we go back to Eretz Yisrael. Then we go back to Yerushalayim. Then we go back to Harabayas. Then we get the Mizbayach. Then we get Bais HaMikdash. It's a system. It's a process. So Akapunim, Yaakov said, he even said, Eshnai bunai Thomas, let my two sons die if I don't bring Binyamin back. What kind of a talk is that? Yaakov was very upset with him for this talk. It even symbolized the opposite of Gulas. It even was the Bechar of Yaakov. Yaakov is Ge'ila. It even stood for the concept of Ge'ila. He said, I have to make sure to come back. If we go down to Mitzrayim, if we end up not coming back, my kids are going to die. That's not a system. We can't have a system of Gulas. Yaakov was very upset with that. No. Yaakov knew that the system has to eventually reach Gulas. So he said, no, B'chor Shoyti, he said, this is not going to work. That's why Yehid was very tough with him. He said to him, we already told you. We have to go to Mitzrayim. And you didn't want. But if we would have gone, we would have already come back twice. Because Yehuda didn't realize that this was not just a temporary thing. He realized that they had to go down, but he thought, we go down and we're going to come back. But Yaakov was very afraid of it. So Yaakov said, it's going down and it's going down and it's going down. It's not coming back. It's one after another. This is the system of Gulas. And if Yosef HaTzadik would not have been in Mitzrayim, Chazal tell us in Masechet Shabbos Daf Baites that Yaakov would have had to go down B'shal Shaluas Shel Barzil. He would have had to go down in a terrible way because Gulas had to happen. But because we had Yosef HaTzadik, that's why Gulas happened in an easier way, in a better system. But still Gulas. And that was Mitzrayim. And then eventually we'll get to Ge'ila in the next podcast.